The movie Army of One opens with a serene shot of Brener Baker and her husband, Dylan, driving down a country road, dappled in morning sunlight. Dylan, a police officer with the Atlanta Homicide Unit, is haunted by nightmares from a violent case, while Brener is military special forces. Despite their stressful jobs, they share a quiet moment, only to have their peace shattered by the aggressive honking of a vehicle behind them. The driver, a boorish man named Butch, pulls up alongside them, shouting lewd comments at Brener and mocking Dylan. Unfazed, Brener simply flips him off, and Butch speeds away, visibly hurt and defeated. Later, the Bakers stop at a roadside diner for a meal. While Dylan is in the restroom changing bandages, the same obnoxious driver returns with his friends. They surround Brener full of swagger. Butch reminds her of their earlier encounter, and she coolly calls him N. One of his thuggish friends makes a vulgar gesture boasting that he knows how to shut her up. As tensions escalate, Dylan returns and calmly tries to de-escalate the situation. Just as Butch is about to swing at Dylan, an older waitress, known as Mama, steps in. Her commanding presence immediately cowers Butch, who backs down and orders his crew to leave the couple alone. Mama seats them, takes their order, and insists their meal is on Butch's tab. As they leave, Brener thanks Dylan, but he chuckles, saying he wasn't protecting her. He was protecting them from her. Their journey takes them deeper into the countryside, away from civilization. One evening, a local woman approaches their campfire and warns them to stick to the trails, as the locals don't take kindly to strangers. Brener and Dylan thank her, but don't take the warning seriously. The next day, a sudden downpour forces them to take shelter in an old, well-kept house. While the storm rages outside, they give in to passion. Afterwards, Brener explores the house, sensing something is wrong. The bars on the windows and reinforced locks make it feel less like a home and more like a cage. Her instincts prove correct when she discovers a hidden door leading to a stash of high-grade weapons. Dylan, turning pale, urges them to leave immediately, but it's too late. Butch and his men arrive, ambushing and knocking them out. When Brener regains consciousness, she is bruised and groggy. Dylan is tied to a chair, and Butch is mercilessly beating him, demanding to know who they are. Dylan insists they are just on vacation, but Butch doesn't believe him. A goon finds Dylan's police badge, confirming his story. Butch, however, shows no remorse. He coldly shoots both of them and orders his crew to dump their bodies in a nearby gully. Brener, presumed dead, is also flung into the gully, but the bullet only grazed her temple, knocking her out just long enough to fool the bastards. As the goons leave, she awakens to find Dylan's lifeless body. She chokes back a sob, placing her dog tag around his neck in a silent vow. She covers him with leaves and moss, a makeshift burial for the man who made her feel safe. Grief gives way to a cold, burning rage. This wasn't an accident. This was a hit. She pulls herself from the gully, finds an axe buried in a tree, and begins her relentless hunt. At dawn, Brener slips into Butch's residence, which is nearly empty as the men have left for a weapons deal. She finds a man left behind, attacks him with a sharpened stake, and kills him. The creaking boards echo with Dylan's ghost, and overwhelmed with grief and fury, she bolts back into the woods. She finds two of Butch's men moving crates and attacks them separately. The first she kills with her blade. The second tries to run, but she is faster. She pulls him down and repeatedly slices him, but for a reason known only to her, she lets him escape. She then douses their stash with gasoline and sets it on fire. The ensuing explosion alerts Mama, who orders Butch to investigate. On his way, Butch finds the bloodied man Brener kept alive. It is here that Butch finds out Brener is still alive. As the men speak, Brener stealthily slips into the trunk of their truck, waiting. She arrives back at Mama's compound, concealed by brush and shadow, and watches, observing their habits and security. Word eventually reaches Mama that Brener has survived. She disciplines Butch and orders a goon to dig into Brener's background. What he finds gives them pause. Brener is the first female ranger in her district, a decorated athlete skilled in survival and close combat. While Mama tightens security, a local cop, Sheriff Hobbs, stumbles upon one of Brener's victims. A dirty cop in his ranks warns Mama, who feigns innocence, when Hobbs confronts her. He leaves empty-handed, but he is not fooled. That night, Butch, drunk and staggering, stumbles out and is struck from the shadows by Brener. The fight is fierce, but she is faster and stabs him in the neck, killing him. The next morning, Brener sees a goon dragging a young woman, Emily, by her hair. Brener waits for the right time, then slips into the cages where the women are held. She tries to free them, but one woman cries out, alerting the guards. Shots ring out, killing one of the women, but Brener grabs Emily and runs. In the woods, Emily reveals that she is pregnant with Butch's child and that Mama's empire is built on human trafficking. Brener's rage burns brighter, and she promises Emily she will fight until Mama can never hurt another girl. As they flee, they encounter Sheriff Hobbs, shot and bleeding. Brener wants to leave him behind, but Emily begs her to help, reminding her that Brener saved her. Brener reluctantly applies pressure to his wound, and together, the women hoist the injured cop and stagger onward. She hides him under a thick grove of trees and tells him to stay put. Brener and Emily continue their escape, but the goons, now with tracking dogs, are closing in. Exhausted and out of options, they ask for a ride from a local woman they meet on the path. Their guard slips, and they fall asleep, only to wake up in Mama's compound. The woman has betrayed them. As Mama prepares to execute Emily, Brener lies, claiming she forced Emily along as leverage because Emily is pregnant with Butch's child. Intrigued by the prospect of a grandchild, Mama spares Emily's life, but turns to Brener. She lists every one of her offenses and promises Brener will suffer. Brener meets her eyes with unblinking calm. "So shall you die for yours?" she says, promising the last thing Mama will ever see is a bullet between her eyes. Brener is beaten and tortured for days, but her mind only sharpens. One afternoon, Emily makes her move. She stabs a guard, frees Brener, and gives her an adrenaline shot. Brener's body jolts back to life. She storms out bloodied but blazing with fury, and hunts down the remaining goons one by one, silent and surgical. She finally comes face to face with Mama, but before she can pull the trigger, Mama drives a blade through Emily's neck. As Emily dies in her arms, Brener's focus shatters and Mama slips away. The film fast-forwards 3 months. The cop Brener helped is alive and well. He receives a phone call from her and she tells him to stay alert, hinting that she may need him from time to time. The scene shifts to Mama, who lounges in her estate confident that the storm has passed. She is wrong. She doesn't see the glint on the ridge or hear the rifle chamber. She only sees one thing, a bullet right between her eyes, just as Brener promised. Brener wiping down her sniper rifle, locking it into a case, and driving off into the horizon. And the movie concludes.